When we open our eyes each morning, we witness a miracle so subtle that we often forget its magnitude. The miracle of life, the miracle of breath, the miracle of simply being here, awake, aware, and alive. Gratitude is not just a polite thank you, whispered into the universe. It is a powerful recognition that we have been entrusted with another day. A new page, a new chance, a new moment to begin again. When Muniba Mazari speaks of gratitude, she does not refer to a fleeting feeling connected only to comfort or happiness. She speaks of a deeper, more transformative kind of gratitude, one that is rooted in perspective, humility, and an unwavering acknowledgement of God's mercy. This kind of gratitude does not depend on our circumstances being perfect. It does not wait for life to align itself with our expectations. Instead, it invites us to honor the present moment, regardless of its imperfections. Every sunrise is an invitation from God saying, "I am giving you another opportunity. Use it well." Gratitude is the posture that allows us to respond to that invitation with sincerity. It shifts our focus from what we lack to what we have, from what went wrong to what is still possible, from what hurt us to what can heal us. When you begin your morning with gratitude, something inside you changes. The heaviness you carried yesterday begins to lose its power. The fears that followed you to bed begin to soften. Gratitude does not erase problems, but it strengthens you to face them. It gently reminds you that if you are still here, it means God still has a purpose for you. Gratitude tells you that even if yesterday was hard, today holds the promise of something new. Even if your heart feels tired, your spirit can still rise. Even if certain dreams were delayed, new doors can open in ways you never imagined. Gratitude is not a passive emotion, it is an active choice. It is choosing to say, "Thank you, God, for waking me up," even when you are unsure of how the day will unfold. It is choosing to appreciate the breath in your lungs, even when life feels heavy. It is choosing to acknowledge the small blessings. A warm ray of sunlight, a quiet moment of reflection, the sound of birds, the chance to start over. These small moments, when appreciated, become sources of strength we didn't know we needed. It is important to understand that gratitude is not meant only for the easy days. True gratitude blooms even in the valleys of life. Muniba Mazari often speaks about how the most challenging experiences can also become the most meaningful. Gratitude allows you to transform pain into purpose, setbacks into strength, and obstacles into stepping stones. When you look at life through the lens of gratitude, even the parts that once felt unbearable begin to reveal their hidden lessons. You start to realize that everything you have lived through has shaped your resilience, deepened your compassion, and polished your soul. Gratitude also connects you more deeply with God. It becomes a conversation between your heart and His mercy. When you look at the morning sky and whisper, "Thank you," you acknowledge that you are not walking this journey alone. You realize that every breath is a gift and every moment is an opportunity to draw closer to Him. Gratitude becomes a spiritual anchor, a reminder that no matter what happens, you are held, guided, and blessed in ways beyond your comprehension. Starting your day with gratitude means inviting light into your inner world before the world around you can influence your mood, your thoughts, or your energy. It means choosing to center yourself in peace and acceptance rather than chaos and worry. It is recognizing that the ability to move, feel, think, breathe, love, learn, and grow are blessings that millions of others may long for. Gratitude softens the heart, it opens the mind, it awakens the soul, and in that quiet, sacred space of morning appreciation, you begin to see life not as something happening to you, but as something unfolding for you gently, intentionally, purposefully, with divine guidance holding every thread of your story. Every morning, before the world fully awakens and before responsibilities start calling your name, there is a quiet moment when your heart can reconnect with your inner strength. Strength is not something you suddenly discover on the days when everything flows smoothly. It is a quality that is built, shaped, and refined through the challenges you have survived. When Muniba Mazari speaks of strength, she speaks from a place of deep personal truth, strength that was born not from ease, but from adversity. It is the kind of strength that comes from falling and choosing to rise, from breaking and learning how to rebuild yourself piece by piece, from facing darkness and still choosing light. Strength is not loud. It does not always roar or make grand declarations. Sometimes strength is a quiet whisper inside your soul that says, "Try again today." Sometimes it is the steady breath you take after a night of doubt. Sometimes it is the decision to keep moving forward even when your heart feels fragile. And sometimes it is simply getting out of bed, putting your feet on the ground, and choosing to show up despite the weight you carry. That too is strength. When you ask God for strength in the morning, you are not asking Him to remove your challenges, you are asking Him to empower you to rise above them. Strength is not the absence of difficulties, but the ability to face them with courage. It is the divine gift that allows you to stand taller than your fears, stronger than your anxieties, and more resilient than your past. Every obstacle you encounter carries the possibility of growth, transformation, and self-discovery. Strength is what allows you to extract the lesson, instead of losing yourself in the storm. There are days when life feels heavy, when the challenges in front of you seem bigger than the strength within you. But those are the very moments when God whispers to your heart, reminding you that you were created with purpose, designed with resilience, and equipped with the inner power to overcome. Strength grows in silence, in patience, and in perseverance. It grows every time you refuse to give up on yourself. It grows every time you choose faith over fear. It grows every time you decide to keep walking even when the path is uncertain. Real strength is not about being unbreakable. Even the strongest people have moments of vulnerability, moments of doubt, moments when they question their own capacity. But what sets them apart is that they refuse to stay defeated. They rise again. They gather their broken pieces with love. They rebuild their spirit with hope. They learn to turn pain into power. This kind of strength is sacred because it is shaped by experience and blessed by God's mercy. Strength also means accepting that you are human. You are allowed to feel tired. You are allowed to take a pause. You are allowed to acknowledge that something is difficult. Strength is not measured by how perfectly you handle life, but by how sincerely you show up for yourself. It is knowing that you can rest without quitting, you can cry without collapsing, and you can struggle without losing your worth. Strength honors the truth that healing takes time, and every step forward, no matter how small, is a victory. Strength is also forged through trust, trust in God's plan, trust in your journey, trust in the timing of your life. When you surrender your worries to God, you create space within yourself for courage to rise. It is in that sacred space that strength begins to flow again. You realize that no challenge is placed in your life without purpose, and no hardship comes without the seeds of transformation hidden within it. Strength is not about denying your battles, but about believing that you will not face them alone. Strength becomes a companion on your journey, a light that guides you through your darkest valleys, a reminder that you have survived every difficult day before this one, and you will survive this day too. Because deep within you exists a power that refuses to be defeated and continues to rise even when life tries to diminish your spirit. There is a quiet truth that reveals itself to us when we take a moment to pause and reflect. Every step we take holds meaning, even when we cannot see it clearly. Purpose is not always a loud calling or a dramatic revelation. Sometimes it begins as a gentle tug on the heart, a whisper that nudges you towards something greater, something deeper, something beautifully aligned with who you were created to be. Muniba Mazari often reminds us that purpose is not found overnight. It is discovered through the journey, through the experiences that shape us, and through the courage to keep moving even when the path feels uncertain. Purpose is not reserved for only a select few. It is woven into the fabric of every soul. Every morning when God wakes you up, it is a divine reminder that your life still carries meaning. Your presence matters. Your voice matters. Your actions matter. Even the smallest steps you take can ripple into someone else's life in ways you may never fully understand. Purpose is not always about achieving something enormous or visible. Sometimes it is about offering a kind word, showing compassion, or choosing integrity when no one is watching. Sometimes purpose is simply choosing love in a world that desperately needs it. Many people search for purpose as if it is a destination they must reach, but purpose is something you live, not something you chase. It is reflected in the way you treat yourself, the way you treat others, and the way you rise after each setback. Purpose flows from authenticity, being who you truly are, not who the world expects you to be. It grows as you learn, evolve, and heal. It unfolds with every decision you make from a place of truth rather than fear. Your purpose is also shaped by the experiences that have challenged you. The moments of pain, confusion, or disappointment you have endured are not meaningless. They carve depth into your heart and insight into your soul. Purpose often emerges from the very chapters of your life that once felt broken. Muniba Mazari's story echoes this truth. Sometimes your wounds become your wisdom. Sometimes your struggles prepare you for a mission far greater than anything you imagined. Purpose is often born from the places where you thought you were defeated, only to discover that something inside you refused to give up. Walking with purpose means waking up each morning with a sense of intention. It means choosing to live consciously rather than simply moving through life automatically. It means recognizing that every choice has weight, every action has significance, and every moment carries the potential to move you closer to the person you are meant to become. Purpose invites you to align your steps with your values, to listen to the voice of your soul instead of the noise of the world, and to trust that the path you are on is shaping you in ways you may not yet understand. Purpose is also closely connected to service. There is something incredibly powerful about using your gifts, your strengths, your experiences, even your scars to uplift others. Sometimes your purpose is hidden in the impact you make on another heart. A single moment of kindness can change someone's day. A single word of encouragement can restore someone's hope. Purpose is found in these simple, human connections that remind us we are here not only to live for ourselves, but also to contribute to the world around us. You do not have to have everything figured out to walk with purpose. You do not need all the answers, and you do not need a perfect plan. Purpose unfolds as you move. It becomes clearer with action, with exploration, with openness. Sometimes all you need is the willingness to take the next step, even if you do not see the whole path. Purpose grows in motion. It reveals itself slowly, like the sunrise that begins in darkness and gradually fills the world with light. When you walk with purpose, you walk differently. Your shoulders lift, your heart expands, your vision sharpens. You start to recognize that even the ordinary moments of your day are part of a divine design. You begin to trust that there is meaning behind every encounter, every challenge, every blessing, and every delay. Walking with purpose transforms the way you experience life, because you begin to understand that every step you take is guiding you toward becoming the most authentic, compassionate, and courageous version of yourself. Patience is one of the most tender forms of strength, a quiet virtue that grows within the soul when we learn to trust the timing of our lives. Every morning, before the day unfolds and before life hands us its usual mix of challenges and blessings, we are given a moment to breathe deeply and reconnect with the peace God places within us. This peace is not something we must search for in the world. It is already inside us, waiting to be noticed. And patience is the key that unlocks it. Patience is not simply the act of waiting. It is the act of waiting with grace, waiting with faith, waiting without surrendering to fear or frustration. Many people misunderstand patience as passivity, but real patience is an active practice. It requires emotional discipline. It requires spiritual maturity. It requires the ability to pause, to reflect, and to trust that there is divine wisdom in the spaces of your life where nothing seems to be moving. Muniba Mazari often speaks of embracing life with acceptance, not resignation. Acceptance is recognizing that some chapters unfold slowly, some prayers take time to manifest, and some answers come only when you are ready to understand them. Patience is surrendering your timelines and embracing God's timing. It is whispering to yourself, "What is meant for me will find me. What is written for me will never pass me by." This mindset creates a softness within you, a calmness that cannot be shaken by delays or detours. Inner peace is what happens when you stop trying to control everything around you. It arises the moment you realize that not every battle is yours to fight, not every storm is yours to fear, and not every situation requires your urgency. Sometimes peace comes simply from letting go, not of your dreams, but of the pressure to force them into existence. There is a sacred kind of peace that grows when you choose flow over resistance, when you choose trust over tension, when you choose surrender over struggle. Patience invites peace, and peace nurtures patience. These two qualities walk hand in hand. When your heart is peaceful, waiting does not feel like suffering. It feels like preparation. It feels like alignment. It feels like God shaping you quietly, gently, intentionally. Every delay begins to look like protection. Every closed door begins to look like redirection. Every slow season becomes a season of inner growth. Inner peace does not mean you will never experience stress, conflict, or sadness. It simply means you will not let these emotions control you. It means you are able to return to your center, even when life tries to pull you away from it. Peace is the anchor that keeps you grounded when your thoughts race, when your plans shake, when your heart feels uncertain. Peace is not the absence of storms. It is the ability to remain steady within them. Patience also teaches compassion toward yourself and toward others. When you understand that growth takes time, healing takes time, learning takes time, you begin to soften your expectations of yourself. You stop demanding perfection. You stop judging your pace. You start appreciating your journey. You begin to speak to yourself with the same gentleness you offer to those you love. This self-compassion creates a quiet peace in your heart, a peace that whispers, "I am doing the best I can, and that is enough for today." And when you develop patience with yourself, you naturally extend patience to others. You stop reacting impulsively. You stop expecting people to understand things instantly or behave perfectly. You learn to listen more, to judge less, to love with more generosity. Peace becomes something you extend outward, not just something you cultivate inward. Patience makes you resilient. Peace makes you unshakable. Together, they allow you to walk through life with a calm heart, even when the world around you feels chaotic. They help you trust in timing you cannot predict, in plans you cannot see, and in a God who is always working behind the scenes, rearranging, rebuilding, and preparing what is meant for you with a wisdom far greater than your own. Faith and hope are like two wings that help the soul rise above everything that tries to pull it down. When you begin your morning with these two powerful forces, you awaken a strength within you that nothing in the world can take away. Faith is the quiet certainty that God is with you, guiding every step you take. Hope is the gentle light that shines even in the darkest corners of your heart, reminding you that no night lasts forever, no wound stays open without healing, and no challenge comes without purpose. Faith is not about understanding every detail of your life. It is about trusting that even when the path is unclear, the one who guides you sees the entire picture. It is believing that God's plans are far greater than your fears, and His timing is more perfect than your impatience. Faith teaches you to lean into His wisdom, even when your own understanding feels small. It gives you the courage to move forward when nothing around you makes sense. It tells you that you do not have to see the whole staircase. Just take the next step, knowing He walks with you. Hope is equally powerful. Hope is what keeps your spirit alive during difficult seasons. Hope whispers to your heart, "Hold on a little longer. Something beautiful is being prepared for you." It tells you that today's struggle is not the end of your story. Hope is not naive optimism. It is the brave choice to believe in possibilities, even when circumstances seem impossible. It is choosing to believe that your future can be brighter than your past, that healing can come after heartbreak, and that miracles can appear when you least expect them. Faith and hope together create a sanctuary inside your soul. They protect you from despair. They keep you grounded when life feels uncertain. They empower you to rise each morning with renewed strength, knowing that every new day is an opportunity for God to reveal something new to you. When you allow these two forces to fill your heart, you stop living from a place of fear and begin living from a place of trust. You stop worrying about outcomes and start believing in divine alignment. You stop doubting yourself and start recognizing the strength God has placed within you. A heart full of faith and hope is radiant. It glows from within. It influences how you think, how you speak, how you walk through the world. When your heart is anchored in faith, challenges no longer intimidate you in the same way, because you know you are not facing them alone. When your heart is fueled by hope, your dreams no longer frighten you, because you know they are planted in you for a reason. Faith brings assurance. Hope brings motivation. Together, they lift you into a life of purpose. Sometimes life tests your faith. Sometimes it dims your hope. There will be days when believing feels difficult and trusting feels impossible. On these days, remind yourself gently. Faith is not about never doubting. It is about choosing to believe again. Hope is not about never feeling discouraged. It is about refusing to give up. Even small faith counts. Even fragile hope matters. Even whispered prayers are heard. God does not expect perfection, only sincerity. Every morning, place your heart in God's hands and allow faith and hope to breathe life into your spirit. Allow them to guide your decisions, calm your worries, and shape your perspective. The more you practice trusting, the more peaceful you will feel. The more you practice hoping, the more alive your heart will become. Faith tells you that you are held. Hope tells you that you are going somewhere meaningful. And when you move through your day with faith in your heart and hope lighting your path, you begin to live with a sense of calm courage. You begin to see possibilities where you once saw obstacles. You begin to feel guided, strengthened, and uplifted. You begin to realize that no matter what comes your way, you are never alone. God walks with you, hope grows within you, and every sunrise is a reminder that your story is still unfolding with beauty, purpose, and divine grace.